task with a great team of people who are working in London to put the finishing touches to what will be an extraordinary document and something which will really propel us forward in our campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, to give you a bit of an insight into where that's headed, can I please introduce and could you please welcome Deputy Chairman Suzanne Evans.
Thank you and good morning, conference. Right, I'm going to start with the bad news to avoid disappointment later on. I know a lot of you are going to feel a bit let down about this, but the manifesto won't call for taxi drivers to wear uniforms. We won't be calling for train carriages to be repainted in traditional colours or making the line a circle again. And we won't be enforcing a formal dress-only code for the theatre either. So I'm very sorry about that. I tried, but I was overruled. Not really. Our 2010 manifesto and associated notes ran to 486 pages. It was very long. This one will be much shorter. It will focus on quality over quantity, and I think you're going to like it. Unlike the other parties who prefer to use paid-for focus groups, in writing this manifesto, we've listened and listened hard to our members of parliament, to our MEPs, our councillors, to our members and supporters. We've also listened to charities, professional bodies, trade unions, faith groups, and many, many experts in their field. So we've consulted very widely, we've researched, we've tested, we've costed, we've anticipated potential bear traps. And the outcome is a manifesto that really does set us apart from the old parties. Their policies, we know, will be severely limited and even undermined by their blind dedication to the European Union. But UKIP, freed from the shackles of having to bow down to excessive regulations and directives, will be putting forward authentic, fresh, realistic and honest ideas based on our genuinely held principles and beliefs and what we seek to change. Another thing that differentiates from the rest is that UKIP's the only party that's found the money to spend on making Britain a better place. Leaving the EU will give us at least 10 billion more to play with every year by the end of the next Parliament. 10 billion. Cutting the foreign aid budget to the same percentage of GNI as that contributed by America, up to another 11 billion annually. By looking again at the unfair Barnett formula, which pays people in Scotland far more than those in England, we'll save between another 3 and 8 billion annually. Scrapping HS2. That will reduce borrowing by probably 4 billion a year by 2020. And ending health tourism could save yet another 2 billion extra. That is a massive sum of money already to invest in Britain without adding to the national debt and without raising taxes. And in fact, not only will we not raise taxes, we'll do the opposite. We'll cut them. UKIP says no to inheritance tax, no to Labour's mansion tax, no to the Tories' bedroom tax, and no to tax on the minimum wage. Our manifesto will also be as much a campaign document as it is a statement of intent. It will highlight what UKIP will campaign for during the next Parliament. Now, let's be honest, we might not be in government on May the 8th, and as you know, Nigel has already ruled out a coalition with any other party, but it will show Our manifesto will show that we are ready for government and ready to engage in changing British politics forever. David Cameron and Nick Clegg each broke promises they made to the electorate. Our national debt has gone up by $500 billion under Cameron's government, immigration's running at an all-time high, and once again, a promised EU referendum's been kicked into the long grass. Clegg reneged on his tuition fee promise. You see, that's the trouble with cast iron guarantees. They can be a bit brittle. And look at Labour's promise for the Welsh Assembly's NHS. The NHS is safe with Welsh Labour. Really? Patients dying on waiting list. Hundreds of beds lost, cancer patients denied treatment, long waits for an ambulance, patients flocking from Wales over the border to hospitals like mine in Shrewsbury. The NHS is never safe in Labour's hands. The old parties can't be trusted, and that is why, whoever is Prime Minister on May the 8th, UKIP MEPs, however many we have, will hold the others to account and see they keep the promises they make to the electorate. Promises which will benefit Britain, we will support, but we will fiercely oppose those which threaten to harm our nation. Our MPs will show Parliament what opposition really looks like, and that is far more than a staged Punch and Judy bun fight once a week on a Wednesday lunchtime and cosy, self-interested backroom deals the rest of the week. Our manifesto will also, once and for all, blow out of the water any suggestion that we're a single-issue party. It advocates policies that are the heart, rooted in common-sense answers to the questions facing Britain today. It will show that we have fully costed, sound and reasonable solutions to the economic crisis, the employment crisis and the energy crisis. Our manifesto will reveal solutions to the problems of mass uncontrolled immigration and the rising burden it puts on public services. We have a fresh vision for education, welfare, childcare, healthcare and care for the elderly. We'll transform foreign affairs, foreign aid and our defence strategy in a way that protects our national security. No more foolhardy foreign wars. Our manifesto will honour the great debt we owe our brave armed forces. To our war heroes and our veterans, I say, we will look after you. To our farmers and our fishermen, I say, we'll give you back control over your industry. And to those of you that want to know exactly how we'll do it, I say, UKIP's manifesto delivers a route map out of the European Union and into the world. It will also show the people of Britain how much better politics could be. Knowing how hard my forebears fought to fight to get women the vote, I'm passionate about re-engaging people in politics. And I think direct democracy is part of the answer, giving people a binding say on the issues of the day through national and local referendums. UKIP doesn't see government as ruling over the people of Britain. It wants to be in partnership with them. We'll introduce a proper people's recall of MPs, not the current fudge that Cameron backed down on yet another pledge. MPs must be genuinely answerable to their constituents. You and I should be able to tell them, you're fired if they deserve to be sacked. But first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, running through the heart of our manifesto, like lettering through a stick of rock, will be the words, "Believe in Britain." Ours is an amazing country. Mark Reckless summed it up so well in Doncaster last year when he joined UKIP. We are more than just a star on someone else's flag. Believe in Britain. This conference is the mantra we need to keep repeating again and again and again. UKIP's manifesto will celebrate Britain, her people, her heritage, her land, her laws, her culture, her seas, her resources, her businesses, her children. But most of all, her great, great future as a sovereign nation, free from the demands of a decaying and deluded European Union. Heath, Thatcher, Major, Blair, Brown. One by one treacherous treaty after treacherous treaty, they handed power that should still be vested in Parliament and Westminster and the people of Britain over to Brussels. Carry on like this, and our great independent nation will eventually become an impotent Brussels irrelevance. But we will not let this happen. We will fight for our survival, and in the front line, ready for battle, believing in Britain, is UKIP, the People's Army, yes? We're the people with the vision to see Britain's true potential. We know just how strong and capable we really are, and that we don't need to cling to an illegitimate political union for our success. Britain, a G8 country, one of the select group of leading world economies, the 6th largest by GDP and the 10th largest by purchasing power. Globally, we're the 8th largest manufacturing union. Great Britain's been a permanent member of the UN Security Council's very first session in 1946. We're a founder member of the World Bank and the Commonwealth of Nations. We're one of the major players in NATO. And what about English, our beautiful language, the world's most widely spoken and arguably our greatest export? We have so much to be proud of, and we are more than capable of running our own affairs. Yet we're tied into a straitjacket by faceless bureaucrats. Our seat at the World Trade Organization sits vacant. Our once great trading nation hasn't done a single trade deal since 1975, not for 40 years, and as long as we remain in the EU, we'll never do another trade deal again. So let me tell you, Mr. Cameron, Mr. Miliband, it's not us who are the little Englanders. We're not the ones who think Britain should stay in the shadows, jumping at Frau Merkel's every command. If anyone deserves the title of Little Englander, it's the Labour and Tory parties of today. UKIP is the party of Great Britons, and our manifesto will show that we believe in Britain, that we stand up for Britain, and that UKIP stands up for you.